So good morning. I'm going to share some stuff with you. You are going to have a whistle-stop half an hour of some major opportunities inside the platform. You've probably noticed over the last 2 or 3 years, the algorithms of most social platforms are now driven scarily by AI. If you go on Facebook and you look at one thing, your whole feed changes. Well, LinkedIn has decided to do something a little different, and there are some opportunities within the platform that you may not have realized exist. I'm going to share my screen, and I particularly want to share with you 2 tactics that, one, have been working very well for me in terms of converting traffic, and I'll show you them in real time on LinkedIn and how we make them work. So despite the changes in the way LinkedIn works, and some of you have noticed in the last 2 months that LinkedIn's algorithm has changed crazily in the way it delivers things, it's actually going to be a big opportunity, because what LinkedIn's algorithm's doing is letting content last for longer. So where you on TikTok would have the scenario of, actually, we put out a post and on TikTok, it's kind of done within 24 hours, you know where it is, unless it goes absolutely viral. With LinkedIn, the average post is now sticking around for up to 3 weeks. So a post has a longer lifespan and will get out there. And I'm going to show you some tactics you can do. So just before we do that, I'm Dean Seddon. I founded MAVERRIK. So you can find me and hunt me and grill me on LinkedIn about this. But literally what LinkedIn's now doing is matching topic to reader, similar to how the other platforms do, but allowing that post to kind of last for longer. But what LinkedIn's done is created a set of features on the platform that are kind of a little bit insidious, because what LinkedIn's now doing is using your content to pull people back to the platform. And I'm going to show you 2 clever little features that LinkedIn's been doing to pull that traffic. But these are what I call retention and attention and conversion content. And I'll just show you what I mean by those things. So on LinkedIn, you need to build what we call a content arc. If you want traffic, if you want attention, you have to have these 3 separate types of content. Your attention content is the stuff that grabs people. It's the stuff that pulls people in. Things like polls, believe it or not. Things like funny clips, stitched clips, drive a lot of traffic. Now, you're saying to me, and you're probably thinking, Dean, we know all this. We know about these types of content. Well, what you don't know is that this attention content actually drives visibility of your retention content. So what you can do is basically build a cadence of content, and unlike the other platforms where more or less every post stands on its own, on LinkedIn, if I do, and this is a really silly example, but it's true, if I do a video, a funny clip about a puppy, and you're going, on LinkedIn? Yeah, on LinkedIn. The top performing content is usually emotional content on LinkedIn. So the top performing content is generally something very emotive. So if I did a funny clip post on LinkedIn, my next post in the next 48 hours would have a home field advantage. So when you're understanding building a content strategy for LinkedIn, this is really important that you use something beforehand. It can be a funny clip, it can be a motivational thing, it can be a detailed infographic. Those kind of things drive more visibility, and then your next post has an advantage. The post you really want to share has an advantage because of that. So having this kind of string of content put together keeps your visibility high, keeps your content performing. But You've probably heard and you're probably aware that LinkedIn doesn't like external links. And this is a big problem if you're trying to drive traffic off the platform. So one of the things LinkedIn's done that will help you push out links whilst not losing traction is, and I'll just show you, on posts. Now on LinkedIn you have, and I'll just zoom in here so you can see it. So for many, many years, if you go on Facebook, you go on LinkedIn, you go on any of these platforms, you've been taught to say, link in the comments. And you put them in the comments because the algorithm does not like links in the post. But LinkedIn has gone one step further and made it hard. If you get a post with lots and lots of comments, it's really hard for you to find the link. So what LinkedIn's done is brought out a premium feature, which in dollars is about $70 a month. It'll be a different pricing where you guys are, that you can feature a link at the top of your post. You just pay to have the link at the top of your posts. So instead of going link in first comment and then people struggling to find the link, instead of putting the link in the post and the post getting pushed down, you say link at the top of the post. And you can embed a link tree at the top of that post. So it's a really, really powerful way to drive traffic off the platform from any post, and you can do it without any kind of algorithm interference because you're paying to have the link at the top of the post. So right there on that post. Now, if you're running a theme page, let's say you're running a theme page rather than, a personal profile. So a bit like on Instagram, you might have a success and motivation page that drives traffic. You can do exactly the same thing. And on the top of the post there, you can actually have a learn more. So you can literally show people just there, right at the top, and drive traffic off the platform. So every post now can drive traffic without the algorithm getting in the way. So really powerful here, attention content, the things that would go viral on TikTok will go viral on LinkedIn. And there's no hindrance, zero hindrance about using watermarked TikTok content, for an example. One of my colleagues, Vasco, he literally does this every single day. Every single day, he will put out a piece of content, and that content will basically have a clip, motivational, inspirational, and then a marketing message copy, and he will drive traffic off the platform. So this kind of approach, it may be something you've never seen on LinkedIn before, but it really, really does work. And Vasco, we've been testing this method for 10 years, and it performs every single time. So I'll just show you some examples of that in a second, but I'm also going to let you into a little secret where basically you may not have seen how lots of people are driving all of this traffic. So let me just show you this here. Bear with me. I did say I'd give you an action pack set to 30 minutes, and you're going to see it. And I'm going to blow you away with something you've never thought of. So this is, for an example, this is Vasco on our team, and this is a popular performing clip on another platform. And he's shared it, got 315 engagements and 20 reposts. And you're probably wondering, why is nobody commenting on it? Because, and here's the secret, the biggest way to get traffic on LinkedIn in 2025 is in groups. The biggest way to get traffic on LinkedIn is finding niche groups and putting the posts into the niche groups. And people have thought about LinkedIn groups and gone, oh, no, they're dead. They're really not. And the reason they're really not is because you can write posts for niche audiences. And when I see niche audiences, this group here, Chief Marketing Officer on LinkedIn, has 359,000 members. So you can basically create content, and if you tie it in with an engaging video, you can actually push it into a niche audience. And you could do this in 10 groups or one group, but the groups are coming back to life. You may have written them off. You may have thought, actually, they're no use anymore. Nobody goes in these groups. But because of the way the algorithm is filtering content to people who are relevant, you can go viral. And I mean literally go viral inside a LinkedIn group. And I have the record on LinkedIn for the top performing post ever. I was taken off that by another British creator this year because my post on LinkedIn had 25 million views. So I was taken off the top spot, but I'm going to show you my top performing post ever, and you'll be surprised at where it came from. So this is my top performing post on LinkedIn ever, and one of LinkedIn's biggest ever posts that's ever gone on LinkedIn, and it was in the Brain Expansion group. So again, another LinkedIn group, and this post is still working for me. This post gets comments and likes and impressions and traffic 2 years later. So this is the post, a key message that I put out. And it had 220,000 views, 14,000 reposts, but only a small number of comments. Now, on every one of those posts is visit my website. So you can bundle up something really engaging, highly engaging content, and bundle it up with some copy. And in that copy, you'd say, link in the comment at the top of the post, drive traffic. It's a really powerful strategy that lots of people are using to grow following, to grow audience, to drive traffic. And nobody right now is taking it fully seriously because most people think groups are dead. So I bet you didn't think somebody was going to come here and talk to you about LinkedIn groups, because most people write them off and don't even bother with them. And to be fair, you would think most LinkedIn groups are dead, but they're not. So you can get into very niche audiences and share content and use your top of link to push people off the platform. So this post, in the end, I can't see the stat here, but this post I think got me to about 21 million impressions. And 2 years later, I checked my stats just before coming on. It's actually got me 1,500 impressions this week, 2 weeks later. So LinkedIn groups bundled with that highly engaging content and key message, you actually get it. And when you look at the comments, you get the comments are a mix of people commenting about the video and commenting about the copy. So it's not just like the videos driving all the engagement. People are actually commenting about the message in the copy too. So this is where the organic reach is. This is how you get the organic reach now. I'll just show you a couple of things you can do. So if you put a post out on LinkedIn, you can put it straight into the group. So you can post into a group, straight into the group. Just go to the group and put a post up. The other way you can do it is actually you can repost. So you can click repost, repost with thoughts, and then you can switch here. Let me just show you, and you'll see it. I don't know why my screen goes so huge every time I do this, but so when you go to the post, you've got, I'll just do it again for you. You've got repost, repost with thoughts, and you can switch and repost your content into any of the groups that you are in. So hunting down those groups with the niche audiences, testing those groups, and then getting your content out there. Can't be straight hard promo. You know, the days of straight hard promo performing are gone. You have to kind of wrap up your message into something else. So a lot of people are using really detailed infographics, or some people are using like clips, but you want to give people some value, but then wrap your promotion or the drive somewhere off platform. So you can either do it just straight posting to the groups, or you can repost into the groups. So you've got two really cool options there for how you get, one, traffic, two, focus traffic, because the groups are often centered around roles, types of people, industries, verticals, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really powerful way to do it. So they're two brilliant ways to drive traffic. Now, I want to share with you one more thing that is pretty powerful, and it's pretty powerful for building an audience and holding that audience. And LinkedIn's been very clever with this. It's called LinkedIn newsletters. Very, very clever with how they've done this. So what they've done, and just if you want to know, by the way, I've got an article on this newsletter on my profile about the change to the algorithm and how you can work towards getting traffic with the difficult algorithm. One of the key features about LinkedIn's newsletter, which now works on a company page and works on profiles, is the way LinkedIn's using it to retain its own user base. So when LinkedIn brought articles out, which is what this is an evolution of, you can write a LinkedIn article, which is long-form blog, essentially. Everybody used to complain that you're putting all this effort in to a LinkedIn article and very few people would read it. Well, what LinkedIn has done is something that I think is game-changing. What LinkedIn now does is when you publish a newsletter, and you create a newsletter, which is actually a string of articles, people can individually subscribe for the newsletter. So they can say, I want to see more of this newsletter. And the interesting thing is, LinkedIn, when you publish, does something amazing that helps you drive that traffic. So number one, when I publish the next edition of this newsletter, LinkedIn notifies all of the subscribers, like literally pings their app, notifies them on the app. So unlike most posts, it just lands in the feed and hopefully your followers or whoever will find it. With a newsletter, it's a push. LinkedIn pushes it to them. I'll explain why in a moment. The other thing that LinkedIn does is those 30,000 subscribers, I'll just get the stats up for this one. Those 30,000 subscribers, LinkedIn does something else for you. So this got 12,000 impressions on the feed and 6,500 members reached as a post. When I scroll down, LinkedIn emailed that same article to 15,000 people. Half my subscriber base was sent that. So LinkedIn will email it to your most active subscribers. Now, why would LinkedIn, a social media platform, start emailing your article to their users, to those 30,000 people? Why would LinkedIn do that? Well, interestingly, LinkedIn is using your long-form article as a way to recover users. So it's pushing it back out to people to get them to come back onto the platform to read the full article. So this is a real partnership between LinkedIn and you, where basically LinkedIn is using your newsletter, your long-form content, to retain users. So you can create a newsletter You can get people to subscribe to it. LinkedIn, in fact, invites all of your followers, all of your connections to subscribe. And so you can very quickly grow a LinkedIn newsletter, grow an audience on there, and keep that audience. So LinkedIn is literally helping you keep them by this email function. So I built my newsletter around winning on LinkedIn. And I've built that up to about 30,000 subscribers. Now, when you publish your first newsletter, LinkedIn will invite all of your followers to subscribe. And every new subsequent follower, every new subsequent connection, automatically LinkedIn will invite them. So LinkedIn's using your newsletter as a retention piece. It's really clever, actually, when you think about it. So let's just think about some application of how you can do this. Well, number one, you can put links inside the newsletter. So when you build an article, you can put in images in, but you can hyperlink out. You can embed YouTube videos. You can embed podcasts. You can embed whatever you like into there. You can put your own banner ads in there. So if you were advertising products for people, you could literally put banner ads in there with your own affiliate links in there. So when people click them, they're straight through and you've got the attribution. But it's a really, really powerful way to build a niche audience and keep it on LinkedIn. So most people haven't done this, or they've abandoned it because they think, well, I want to get people onto my own email list. They're not really thinking about, well, how do I use this to leverage the platform internally? They see it as a replacement for their email list. Now, there are some tools depending on what you want to do, but one of the big strategies people do is with a script. I'll just tell you what people do. Whether you do it is up to you, but there's 30,000 people subscribed to this. One of the things a lot of people do is they click this link here, they run a script, and it will capture all of those contacts, and you can convert that into an email list too, put them on a nurture sequence. A lot of people do that here in the UK, and a lot of people do that in the US as well. Europe is a little different just because of the GDPR regulations are much more strict in the European Union, but in the UK and the US, this is a common practice that people will run a script to collect all those details, find their emails, and put them into an email sequence, and then into an email list as well. So that's a really, really powerful tool on the platform. You can use it, you can build it very, very quickly. LinkedIn's paid features will allow you to promote it into niche audiences. And of course, what you can do is you can, and I'll just show you this as an example, when you get an article, you can also repost and switch it into a group. So you can actually push that out into groups. And I can push then that out into niche groups, and they find it, they subscribe, and now LinkedIn is emailing them and pushing them, notifying them. So it's a brilliant way to retain organic traffic on the platform. And the other thing to say, we're noticing better conversion from long form content to external links to clicking and downloading stuff than short form. So that's a really, really powerful way. So hopefully in this session, I've given you some hope that organic traffic is very much alive on LinkedIn. I've given you some ways that you can, in effect, partner with LinkedIn to retain that traffic through long form. Many of you won't have thought of that. And I've also told you that the big opportunity here is actually leveraging those niche communities. And when I say niche communities, some of them are like 2 million people on topics. And if you're creative with how you promote, you will have no trouble at all getting content into that group. So my strategy is build a newsletter, repost it into groups, get more subscribers, and then drive traffic from within the newsletter, and it works brilliantly for me. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you've no longer written LinkedIn off as that boring jobs platform, and you're now seeing actually it's a place for high quality traffic. It's a place to reach people in a different way, but also it's a way to retain them that other platforms, it's much more difficult to do on other platforms. So hopefully that's been helpful. I want to leave you with one final little tip. It's not as big a deal as the newsletters. It's not a bigger deal as the clips and the groups, but it is a great way to convert people if you like to do webinars and drive traffic. One of the things LinkedIn has is a wonderful little feature called LinkedIn Events. And this is insane because of the way it works. But on LinkedIn, I'm a bit of an addict for this. I host events every week, and I host them around topics and pain points that people have. And I literally give advice, give tips, but actually promote my services at the same time. So if you had a product and you wanted to demo it, it's very easy using groups, using networks, using followers to get 400 or 500 people signed up. Really simple. You can capture their data at the same time on the company page. It will capture the data for you. And so every week I'm getting 400 or 500 people signing up to want to know how to create content that converts. So if you're promoting a product, if you're trying to get people interested in a particular pain point or achieving something, you can, a bit smaller than the newsletter, but you can get 500 or 600 people organically from LinkedIn to sign up for a webinar. You can capture their data, send them the reminders, do all of that stuff, but actually get them to convert. And I can drive traffic into my inbox for people messaging me. I can drive traffic off the platform with it, but I'm using it as a kind of garnering interest on a particular topic, particular pain point, and then showing them how to solve it. And you can use this for SaaS. So we've done this with SaaS companies. We've done it with general businesses, but any kind of tech or product you're trying to sell, you can actually do it as a webinar funnel straight from LinkedIn, and without any ad budget. It is really easy using the groups to get 400 or 500 people signed up. So there's a little bonus feature if you want to do a niche conversion style webinar with 500, 600 people. You don't need paid. That would cost you a fortune to do it by paid. This will actually be able to do it organically. And anybody can do this. Literally, I have a template. So if you want to know the template of how to do any of those things, just message me on LinkedIn and say, can I have the template for the newsletter? Can I have the template for the events? Can I have a template for the clips and the groups? Just message me. I'll send it to you. But hopefully that's been helpful for you guys, that you see some opportunities on LinkedIn and get on there. Get on there. The organic traffic's there. LinkedIn wants long form. LinkedIn wants more content. LinkedIn still has a shortage of content, believe it or not. Last month, only 3% of the users actually posted something, and the majority of them are jobs posts. So if you're creative, if you're good at TikTok, if you're good at driving content on YouTube Shorts, you can do exactly the same thing on LinkedIn, and you will get way more results than you will on YouTube, than you will on TikTok. It's far more predictable than those channels, because LinkedIn has a massive shortage of content and needs you. LinkedIn needs your content. So hopefully this has been helpful, and thank you very much.